Little off tangent question, but I am curious about it. We've had a lot of companies because the mining industry is trying to bring in new talent. What was your perception of the mining industry when you started, as opposed to now that you've been in it 7 years, straight out of school, fresh eyes on it, and versus now?
To be quite honest with you, I don't know if it's something I thought of before.
Right. Exactly.
Industry. I was same with earth moving too.
Yeah.
And you would drive by these projects all the time, and I don't think you would look at them twice.
Yeah.
But I could not be more thankful to have entered into this industry and realized just how dynamic they are and how critical they are to just everything around us, just the infrastructure,
Yeah.
everything that moves, all the thing down to the battery that powers my laptop here. So it's been really cool to get into the space. But before this, I had no intention of it. I had never been to a mine, never been in and around in a mine, but I'm happy that's changed, and I've been around many now.
Yeah, well, and hopefully in our little corner of our show, we can change that a little bit because people watch it from everywhere, and just trying to get people to understand what it is, because it's like construction. Everybody understands buildings and all that sort of stuff. In a sense that they see them being built, they get disrupted on the way to work because there's new road builds and all that sort of stuff. But mines, it's just out of sight, out of mind for most people. Usually they only hear about it when something bad happens on the news. So, which I'm sure Wingtra is helping avoid. So let's jump into that. Marcos, let's start with you. Let's get right into use cases. Let's be specific. We've done an episode. We've introduced Propeller. We've introduced Wingtra to the audience. Now let's get into some, maybe like the work you'll do in like the mine pits or something like that. Just give us a real kind of in-depth understanding of what that would look like from a Wingtra perspective. And then Shaun, I think we'll jump over to maybe like haul roads and things like that analysis on that from the Propeller side. So Marcos, let's start with you.
Perfect. So let's just put it into context. Is all mines have to do a reconciliation and a topography analysis of where the ore and the dirt has gone from where to where. And it's usually fleet management solutions can track the movement and the reconciliation. But at the end, how do you create a visual representation, a 3D map of the reality of your mine, a digital twin that give you this touch, this visual representation to this is what I planned versus this is what I am actually executing, right? And Wingtra, just to put some facts out there, is it enables you to capture over 700 acres per hour of flight. Just think around the number in just 1 hour. And within Propeller, you can get a return of this within 8 hours on an accuracy of 3 centimeters. This was something that in the past was not possible. And if we just dig down into the use case, is what is the progress of my dump? What is the progress of my pit? What is the slope analysis? What is the slope deviation? What is the bench height of my roads? If you can capture, let's put 5,000 acres in one day or in one morning, and you have this view that is the digital twin of your mine now in 3D, on where you can extract all this data. Now you can just put this out there and say, okay, as a surveyor, I need to provide a report of today or around this week, we have moved 100,000 cubic meters. Where is it and how is that changed? In the past, it was just 2 columns or multiple columns in an Excel file. Today, you just have a map, a representation of this. That if you are a mine manager, it's like, okay, I move 100,000, and this is how it actually looks in my pit. And this is what the plan that I got. Now, this capability of the use case from how did I get this data in the past to how I get it now, and how do I share it among my operation, is just enabled to increase safety. Like now my surveyors doesn't need to be down in the pit, measuring and getting accurate and going with the rovers. They just from a viewpoint get their whole pit, and through Propeller share it to all their stakeholders with a link, which enables all the supervisors and the operations to visualize exactly what is the current status or the bench, where the shovels, cables, etc., to plan their short term, to the safety aspect of measuring the roads. That is where, like, you can extract all of this data automatically and then just share it to safety. So specifically, how do I get accurate volume metrics from my mind on a progress from a topography report of my full pit that previously it took me 3 months to a weekly frequency. This is what this technology is really enabling at the moment.